Well, hello there, Science 10. Phil Switzer here. We're going to do a little video mini lesson on molecular compounds. What are they? How to write their name, how to write their formula. I want you to make sure you've got your periodic table printed and right beside you. Also, you're going to want to get the textbook, and the link is right in the video description, and or you've already got a copy of the textbook, but I've got a link right there. It'll open it up. We're on chapter 2. Page 42 to about 44 in a textbook. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to begin with what are molecular compounds. This will just take a moment to get this computer going. Okay, cool. Take some notes along with me. Our first thing we're going to talk about is what is a molecular compound. Okay, cool. Well, right here, you can see on your periodic table, we got the nonmetals focused on. And that is what a molecular, and I should try to spell it correctly. Okay, molecular compound. Awesome. It is when a nonmetal, any one of these nonmetals, carbon, oxygen, sulfur, oxygen, fluorine, carbon, when they bond. So it's when a nonmetal bonds, and it's a special kind of bond called a molecular bond with a nonmetal. You'll notice, of course, the charge on oxygen, -2. Technically, carbon is actually -4. In other words, it wants 4 electrons. When carbon and oxygen get together and form a bond, they actually share electrons, and we form something called carbon dioxide. We're all very familiar with it. You're breathing this out right now. Carbon dioxide is also formed when fossil fuels, oil and gas, propane, methane, when they burn. When you burn a fossil fuel, carbon dioxide and water vapor are released. Carbon dioxide, this is a molecular compound, nonmetal, bonded to a nonmetal. What they're doing, they're actually sharing electrons, because you'll see the valence charge there, right on your periodic table. You'll notice the charge on oxygen, -2. Carbon would be -4. It technically doesn't form ions, but it does want 4 electrons, being a group 14. So what happens here, right in the name basically, tells you how to write the formula. We just say carbon, it means 1 carbon. We don't have to say monocarbon. Dioxide, so it's 2 oxygens, it's a gas. You don't need to be able to figure out the state of matter. You do need to be able to figure out the name and or formula for a molecular compound. So let's look at that. Let's figure out how to write the formula and the name for a group of molecular compounds. I'm just going to scroll down. This is about, it's from page 43. You're going to need this chart right here. So pause the video, copy this chart onto your periodic table. Okay, let's get some formulas, and then we're going to figure out the name of some example molecular formula. Yeah, do know how to spell today. And from the formula, we're going to get the name. So make a chart like this. Let's start with a few of these. Okay, CF2. Interesting stuff. Okay, awesome. Let's do another one. Let's not put that line there. N2O5. Okay, this will be a gas. I, interesting. We can find I on our periodic table. Cl, liquid. And let's do one more. Actually, with this one, we'll give you the name. Tetra. Interesting. You can see it there. Tetra arsenic. Tetra arsenic deca oxide. So on that one, you're going to take this name and you're going to write the formula. But here's the rules to writing a formula for a molecular compound. Again, you're going to want this little number chart on your periodic table. I'm just going to scroll a little bit in this direction. Again, take these notes down with me. So to name, molecular. First of all, first element you want to say the number that you see in the formula. You say the number. You do not say mono. Don't say mono. So if there's only one of them, you don't say mono. And then you just say the name of the element. Okay, so that's why it's just carbon. We don't say monocarbon, because you'll notice that if there's one, we in theory should say monocarbon, but we don't. If it's mono, we just say carbon. Okay, so that's how to name the first element. Let's name the second element. The second element, again, you say the number. This time you say the number. If there's one of them, you say mono. If there's two, you say di. If there's three, you say tri. If there's seven, you say hepta. So you say that number, and then you say the name, and we add "-ide", the suffix "-ide" to the end. Okay, so let's use these two simple little rules. Oops, just jumped a little bit there, sorry. Just going to go back, get my notes back to where we were. There we go. And why don't I zoom out just so we have enough space here to see this. Okay, cool. So let's start with this first one. How many carbons do you see there? One. So therefore we just say carbon. Okay, we see two fluorines here, so we say di. Doesn't matter if you capitalize it or anything. And then not fluorine, but fluoride. Carbon difluoride. Well, let's try this next one. Again, we say the number. Well, if there's two or more, we definitely say the number. So this is going to be di. And just the name, dinitrogen. Dinitrogen. Okay, say the number again. There's 5 oxygens. Penta. Dinitrogen. Penta. Oxide. Not oxygen, oxide. Gonna need a tiny bit more space here. Move that to the side. There we go. Okay, let's try this one. I see iodine, but I just see one of them. Therefore, I just say iodine. And chlorine, I just see one chlorine. Iodine, chloride, monochloride. Iodine, mono, because there's one of them. Okay, so now we have the name itself, tetra. Okay, so therefore it's 4 of something, arsenic. Looking on our periodic table, again, throughout this, you've got your periodic table beside you, but there's arsenic, it's an AS. So it's therefore AS4, arsenic, 4 arsenics. And deca, 10 oxygens, O10. Who knows the state of matter of this thing? Doesn't matter at this point. Main thing is getting the correct name out of the formula, following this rule to name it. The first one, you say the number that you see, but you don't say mono, and you just say the name as normal, the name as it appears on a periodic table. Then the second element, you do say the number no matter what, mono, di, tri, etc. Name "-ide". And you'll notice with these, it's fairly easy to add that "-ide" right after the I and iodine, so iodide, bromide, seleniumide, selenide, yeah, right after the I is where you'd add that I there in any of these elements. Okay, that's it. That's your mini lesson on what molecular compounds are and how to name them. I want you to now go to the textbook. This is from page 44, these questions. Practice these practice questions right here. Got them pasted right in here. 1 to 4. This is page 44. You can check in the Moodle course. We've got the answers to all of these, and you can check those answers. This also gives you some examples of formulas and the name, and then basically what these compounds actually are used for. Once you complete this practice in the textbook, then it's time to go to the assignment in Moodle, the molecular compound assignment, and there's actually just 3 simple questions that you now know how to do, but make sure to review this lesson, do this practice, check your answers, and then do the assignment. Okay, take care. Have a good day. Lesson over.